Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I'm back with a replay that I took from the casted section of Reddit, subsection of StarCraft, and it looks like we're going to have a ZVP. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce both players. In the lower right hand corner, spawning our Protoss in the blue trunks. His name is ThantoZ. Very interesting name. But somehow it reminds me of some deity or another in some form of mythology or a number, or another, excuse me. Upper left-hand corner, spawning is our Zerg in the red trunks. His name is Cyon? And he's at 10, wait a minute, he's at 10 drones. What's that all about? And he's not making anything else right now. So I'm a little curious, just what is he trying to do here? Anywho, we do have the scouting probe luckily coming out from ThantoZ. He's going to come out and see that his opponent is making a pull right now. And that's going to lead to a bit of early game aggression. And I'm a bit... I don't know how to say this. Skeptical of how this is going to pan out. There's going to be initial damage. There's always going to be initial damage. But the question is, how is it going to be followed up? You see that that is a particularly early pool, I feel. So what is the reaction from ThantoZ? If he gets that forge down right now, it doesn't matter. It's going to finish after we have 6 lings in production. But wait a minute. Oh man, there's 3 larvae here. Okay. So we're going to have a full 6 lings in production relatively soon. There's no way I think we're going to see ThantoZ make an entirely full wall off in the near future. At least not before those lings get there, but maybe I'm wrong. I could definitely be wrong, really, I could be. I'm willing to say that much right now. Okay. ThantoZ in his main, throwing down a pylon. He's perhaps prepared to go ahead and lose his forge. If he does that, he'll simply throw down a cannon right here. But he's already got one in the makes right now. The question is, are these lings going to arrive in time to get past it? Are they going to get past it, or are they simply going to try and destroy it and then go somewhere from there? It's going to be pretty close, guys. We also have 2 more lings back here joining the party. And it looks like this cannon's gonna be just about ready-ish, but the lings are trying their best to run around it. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound preppy that way, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. So here we go. Some lings are now in the main for Cyon, and it looks like this one ling. Oh wow, that's kind of clever accounting, I guess. You can predict the future, and again, clever accounting by ThantoZ as well. This is apparently just nothing more than a waste of minerals and mining time. Just look at this. If we check this analytically, we see 14 drones going up against 20 probes. This is not beneficial to Cyon in any way, except for the fact that perhaps he is delaying his opponent's natural. He's forcing him to build a gateway or something that will deal with this problem. He could probably throw down a cannon right here and it would be within kiting range of this Zergling, I guess. So I want to say that ThantoZ in and of himself is actually making a slight mistake in that regard. But then again, we also have 4 lings here that can do whatever damage, be it delaying mining time or destroying an assimilator. And I think if they actually got the assimilator, that would be rather huge. They can't go in and actually attack these lings without taking a shot from a photon cannon. And it looks like that is probably going to fall in the near future. And that will definitely hinder gas income. And it falls uncontested. Oh, no probes. Ouch, but 1 ling does get killed. Basically delayed mining time. And behind this we see that Cyon's going for his natural. There were no worker kills in any of this. That's actually perhaps the most critical part of it. Now we're going to have to see, essentially, ThantoZ. I think it would be okay for him to throw down another cannon, given that it would simply save him a little more time. It would simply save him some time. That's it. It would be worth 150 minerals if he could get that natural nexus up and running ASAP. He's almost fully oversaturated on his main, and by fully oversaturated, he's going to be close to about 24 probes. It's actually kind of chilly here, so I hope you guys don't mind if I just get up and grab my jacket here for just a moment. Alright, both players just going to take it back into what appears to be a normal-ish macro game, but of course our Zerg player is playing from behind because He did only manage to get delayed mining time, that's about it. He did manage to delay his opponent's Nexus for a while, so that's going to put his own worker production up significantly. And just look at the creep spread here, guys. I think it tells the story for us. Meanwhile, +1 ground attacks is going down for ThantoZ, so this is leading me to believe that perhaps we're going to see, what's the word I'm looking for? Perhaps we're going to see some, you know, standard gateway, perhaps an immortal timing. I also wouldn't be surprised to see a Stargate thrown into the mix as well. We have altogether 4 gateways here, and a 5th one on the way. So this, to me, is probably going to be a kind of attack expand move, if you will, for our Protoss. And more spine crawlers are going down. So now I see the overall good that Cyon did with his attack. He actually did manage to delay probe production from his opponent. And now if we check the income, it's slightly in favor of him. Alright. So there we go. Cybernetics core is just about to finish up Warp Gate Tech. No, it looks like the natural has 2 queens, so I'm a little curious as where are we going to see Cyon go with this? 16 Lings, another Stargate in production. Excuse me, another Stargate in production. A Stargate now in production is what I meant to say, guys. So, here we go. Again, just waiting for that to finish up. Double gas is now going down at the natural. Delayed at that. Couple Zealots, 5 Zealots. Teaming up with this sentry. Once Cyon sees this, he's probably going to think, he's probably going to take an analytical glance at this and think, why so few sentries? Oh, but what I thought would have been huge is if he could have simply, I think, maybe taken down the sentries. Oh! He finally takes down the pylon. I think if he had simply sniped those sentries and gotten out, it would have been very worthwhile, or at least tried to, because if you burn energy on force fields, or if you're forcing your opponent to burn energy on force fields to save expensive units like sentries, then they're not going to have the force fields that they need later on to engage you. It's alright though, we do have a couple of spine crawlers here, and a bunch of lings. Beautiful surround is going to come from these lings, and sentries are not going to get a chance to use their force fields. That's pretty big right there for ThantoZ. 100 gas that, you know, he's not getting back. He's probably thinking to himself, well, wait a minute, 2 of them just showed up. Is one of those a hallucination? It can't throw down a force field. And here we go. Ling's now engaging. 1 more sentry does fall without throwing down again another force field. But I want to say these are poor trades from Cyon. He's not doing what he should be doing, which is basically just using his Lings defensively. And this is turning into a bit of a contained scenario for ThantoZ versus Cyon. Behind this, it seems that we have the definitive tech up. Being told the Roach Hydra composition is going to be coming out with glial reconstitution and grooved hooks, or excuse me, grooved spines in production. Of course, grooved spines is the range upgrade for Hydras, and glial reconstitution is, of course, the speed upgrade for those of you who are just a little bit new or took a huge break from StarCraft 2 between Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm. ThantoZ is just going out here and checking to make sure that there is no expo. It looks like he's going to get a prevent on that creep tumor. Yep. Okay, so what's going on here at home for ThantoZ? There it is. Robotics Bay is now going down. The Twilight Council has also been tacked on, so I'm a little curious. Just what are we going to see in production soon from him? He's going to go and take his own 3rd with this. That is the entire point of a contain, ladies and gentlemen, just to give yourself an economical lead. We go. Hatch now going down at what appears to be a 3rd position, and I don't think ThantoZ actually saw that. Full energy on... Oh man, this is pretty big. I don't think any of this is going to get home alive. Yeah. Letters go out to their wives and children. So now the upgrades are at +1 and 000. That would be +1 for Protoss ground weapons and 000 for our Zerg ranged attacks thus far. We do have pneumatic carapace going down, interestingly enough. It's probably just from map control. Muscular augments now going down as well. Creep tumors getting spread further and further. Pretty okay, pretty standard given the level of play that we see from Cyon. And of course, now we just have the Void Ray count going up and up, but I think ThantoZ, he really needs to get a scout out on his opponent. He's not really pulling the right units into the composition. One thing that could help, and I was about to say this, is getting those High Templar into the mix, which he's doing with a Templar Archives. Now we have a Nexus going down, as well as a couple of gateways here to kind of make a complete SimCity, complete-ish wall-off. Excuse me, I misclicked there, but it looks like I ran across an Overseer that's ready to morph and get some scouting info on ThantoZ. It's not going to happen, though. Look at that. A little pitiful. Behind this, we do see that the third Nexus is finishing up, so we're going to see probes getting pulled just a little bit late to get saturated on the third there. In fact, they haven't been pulled yet, unfortunately. But now we have ThantoZ moving out, and it looks like he's gonna have to use a lot of micro to deal with this. He's got to put the Zealots in front. He's got to use the Stalkers to deal with the Hydras. The Void Rays are mistargeting the units. They should not be shooting Hydras. They should be engaging Roaches and letting the Zealots at the front lines get to the Hydras that are in back. Of course, that's a beautiful time warp. It really is. There's no other word for it. And now it looks like Cyan's going to be able to hold this, perhaps if just barely. 1 for 1. Oh, the Mothership Core was taken down. Doesn't recall was called down, and that's going to put him in a world of hurt. Look at that. We now have Cyon chasing down ThantoZ's army. And I think if there's any time to push back, rebel, and make some damage happen, it would definitely be now. As our Protoss is just, he's oversaturated. He needs to realize that he needs to pull probes from here. He could pull half of the probes from here and he would be fully saturated on his third already. There we go. And now we have ThantoZ just adding on a lot more gateways. Getting the High Templar count up, and I'm wondering, does he actually have Psionic Storm? He does, so that's going to help in holding off against all of these units that are coming to greet him at his third. There's also 3 more cannons right here. I'm kind of liking the SimCity. So many cannons. And it looks like we're just going to see Cyon go straight at it. But once those storms come down, it could end up turning the game all around. There they are, beautiful storms. Lings just exploding right in front of them. And there we go, the Hydras and the Roaches just running right out into those. It doesn't matter if they kill the High Templar or not. Those are not effective trades. You do not want to be trading that many Hydras and Roaches for High Templar. Oh man, they're getting chased down. Alright, so here we go. The original Void Ray and 2 Stalkers are still back over here, trying to prevent any third from going down. Meanwhile, more Void Rays are getting tacked into the composition. This is basically what was long known as the unbeatable composition. We're talking Void Ray, High Templar. Of course, the High Templar were meant to handle the Hydras, and the Void Rays were meant to handle anything else that got thrown at them. However, blunt counters being accounted for. By blunt counters, I mean Hydralists being beaten by High Templars and Void Rays being beaten by Hydras. Basically, some players learned to figure it out when they started integrating more Queens, and actually not just Queens, but also Swarm Hosts into their compositions. We just have to see Cyon basically, you know, move his head in the same direction as those players. The High Templar will be forced to either... Oh boy, here we go! Cyon trying to micro those Hydras back like Marines. Not really working out in his favor, however. It looks like these Archons are going to be chasing down a good deal of Zerg units. What would be alright right now is actually to see Cyon actually turn around and A-step his way back. Looks like he was actually kind of supply blocked for a minute. It looks like he's going to be throwing away some free Overlords here. Those 3 Overlords, that's not going to help him out at all. Ouch. Just throwing away units, unfortunately. And behind this, we also have ThantoZ going for his 5th base in what would actually be not 5th base, but 4th base in what would otherwise be recognized as an unlikely position. Third is now oversaturated for our Zerg. He had to pull workers from the main, and he's still got 5 too many on that. Okay. So, there we go. Infestation pit. No. Starting pathogen glens. Interesting choice considering we already know that there's going to be High Templar in the mix. There's also Immortals being integrated in as well. And now, there it is, a full row of High Templar. Are they going to be warped into Archons, or are they just going to follow the composition here and wait for these guys? Oh, man. Ling Run by coming down here at the 12-ish position base, and it's going to take down this Nexus. It's going to fall, I guess, but, I mean, the question is, how will it be followed up? Those Lings, it got canceled. Alright, so now ThantoZ is supply blocked, but I think if he moves out right now, it might be the golden opportunity to actually attack. If we look and see what Cyon has right here, right now, it's, you know, it could end up taking down all of these Immortals and Zealots. That's my biggest concern, but of course the High Templars, as long as they get those money storms, they will be good to go. There's also no Observer in the mix, so this is actually rather dangerous for ThantoZ right now. Dangerous because if he moves out on creep, his opponent's going to have a full read on his unit composition, so perhaps, just perhaps, we're going to see him trip things up a bit. The High Templar are now coming out over here, and the Hydras are just going to try and A-move into this, it looks like. Maybe, but the High Templar could be caught out in the open! Beautiful storm! 1, 2, 3, getting pushed back. And oh, he's got to throw down more. 4, 5, 6 beautiful storms. And it looks like they're going to get morphed into this. And these are a bunch of yellow and orange health Hydras. Ordinarily, they would not be the best units in the tool for the shed. Ordinarily, they would actually be the best thing to take up against what we have from our ThantoZ here. But after those storms, it just looked like they were all a bunch of one-hit units to these Immortals. Look! Look at this. This is almost crazy. Now we need to see more and more reinforcements warp in for our ThantoZ, really. I mean, this is actually pretty crazy. He doesn't have a forward pylon. I guess his original intention was to use this base as the, you know, the reinforcing pylon, if you will. With that, we see him taking down his opponent's 5th base. These Immortals will not be getting away today, no. And if he can just use his head a little bit more, he could just realize, okay, I need to save my Void Rays. That's the only thing I can do. And now there's a lot of High Templar that are getting into position to actually throw down some storms and save the retreating units, these Void Rays, these Hero Rays. And now a bunch of Zealots showing up to greet the Void Rays, shoo away the Zerglings, and everything else in between. Behind this, we actually see that Cyon is actually following this up with, hello, what kind of a click is this? I guess there's a, you know, a bit of a party going down over here at the Hydralisk Den. But, you know, meanwhile, we just have chitinous plating going down for our Zerg. And also, he's trying to take a 5th base, excuse me, a 4th base. Never really got that down, but of course, that pylon's going to spot it. And it looks like these Zealots were basically thrown away. Yeah, free supply, I guess. Meanwhile, chitinous plating does finish up. We have 5 Ultras on the way. They are +4, +1. And I'm thinking these Zealots here might be in a dangerous position in the near future. Actually, no. Zealots are a pretty okay counter versus Ultralists, but to really make it worth the deal, you have to have Zealots accompanying Immortals and Void Rays. A little surprised we didn't actually see ThantoZ warp in anything here to take down this hatchery. Perhaps he was thinking that perhaps, just perhaps, his opponent was going to be he's gonna lose this bottom base again, this 12-ish, this 12 o'clock-ish position base. Wondering if he's gonna move into position to save it. Mothership Core's on the way, but it looks like everything that warps in here may not be in time. I don't know, it's just hard to say. Void Rays getting their prismatic alignment kicked in. This is going to help them absolutely obliterate those Ultras. Beautiful storms taking care of the Hydras. In fact, Cyon is now on some borrowed time. Colossi is going to be chased away, but wait a minute, prismatic alignment has not been activated yet. If it was, then that could take down those Ultras in a matter of seconds. It looks like he just missed the window completely, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but behind this, he actually needs to just open up his eyes a little bit more and realize that that lower left corner is the lower left corner base for his opponent is the most exposed one. It's perfectly valid to go ahead and attack that right now. Perfect chance to retaliate. And it looks like he's going to do just that right now. We have 6 Hydras on the way. Checking the income right now, it's actually highly in favor of ThantoZ. He did miraculously manage to hold on to this base. Now he's just moving on to this hatchery. It's not the beginning of the end for our Zerg player, but he could take... He's going to need another Expo, because right now he's only on 2 base income. If he loses this one right here, then it's going to mean a lot of damage in the near future. It's going to mean a lot of damage to his production. It's going to mean a lot of, oh, well, I have to save money to rebuild a hatch somewhere else. And 2 base economy versus 3 base... Excuse me, 2 base economy for Zerg versus 2 base economy for Protoss is not really that favorable for Zerg unless all of your units are hard counters and you've already got a huge bank. We're talking like late game, 50 minutes in, but we're just now hitting the 30-minute mark, and this is getting into late-ish game. +2 now on the way. +4, +2 now finished. Excuse me. +4 Carapace finished for those Ultras, and now +2 attack. Does our Zerg have Hive Tech? He does, but he's not getting the upgrades because he doesn't have the economy to support that. Look at how low his mineral income is. Hydras now moving on to all the Void Rays. Beautiful Storm's going down, and it looks like Cyon is going to try and get us around on all of this. I don't know who's going to prevail over all of this. It looks like slowly but surely the Void Ray count is just a little bit too high, and the Hydras are not actually targeting them down. The Colossi has actually helped out a lot, especially when the High Templars threw down their storms earlier on those Hydras. Just look at the losses here, ladies and gentlemen. There it is, GG from Cyon. He knows he's lost, and with that, we see him leaving the game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys liked what you saw here today, just go and click on the subscribe button. This has been Breaker. I'll see you guys next time.